Hi everybody, today I'm going to teach you how to do your basic invert. So we're going to learn this from the ground first, but I'm just going to show you what it looks like. Today we're actually just going to do our basic invert. First thing is always hands on the pole to a slide down, and then we can work on our hands free. But you always want to work on your invert without releasing your hands first. So that will look like this. Looking over the inside shoulders, you slide to the floor and release. So from the ground, I'm going to show you this one first. And hopefully you've already been working on your abdominal exercises and things like that in the conditioning section, because that's really going to help you get into this position. I want you to try and lift into your invert and not jump at it, okay? We want to work on using your muscles to control the movement and not so much momentum. Now just to get your leg placement, my dominant hand is my right, so I'm going to have the pole on the left side of my body, and I'm going to turn around so you can see what my legs are doing. Now you're going to lie on the ground with the pole sort of mid-rib cage, okay, just below your chest line. Now when you do your basic invert, you're going to use a baseball grip, which means your hands are going to be placed closely together, outside hand being the top hand. Now, when I lift my legs up, I want my outside leg to catch the side of the pole that is facing me, and I want my hips to be right into the pole as well. My left leg or my back leg will come up behind the pole, or my inside leg. So it'll look like this. I'm going to get my hips up, reach for the pole, so that my hips are in. I'm catching it behind my calf, inside of my outside thigh. And then this knee is going to bend slightly and then press into place. Because what I want to do is press with the top of my foot, my inside leg, and I want my knees to touch so that the grip is right between the thighs and there's no gap of metal in between my knees. What you want to be careful of is a lot of times when people do their basic invert for the first time, they'll either do this, okay, and if you can see, this leg might as well not even be on the pole because that's not going to give me any grip. So you want to bend and place the legs together to squeeze the thighs, okay? The second thing you want to be careful of is that you don't bring your inside leg to the front. So another thing that people do sometimes is come here and then go like this. That is not as secure as wrapping like this, okay? Because you have the pressure of the back foot, thighs together, knees touching, everything is wrapping around that pole to give you as much grip as possible. So from there, if you're going to try this standing up, I really would suggest you having someone who can spot you. And when they're spotting you, where they should be placing their hands is, if I had someone standing here and they were facing this direction, I would have one hand ready between the shoulder blades and one hand ready right just above the tailbone, so that when they go up, I can help them lift a little bit if they're having trouble lifting off the ground, okay? This is going to help save your back. If you're finding it difficult to get up, you don't want to throw out your back dropping out of this movement, okay? So, standing position, I'm going to show you again from this way so you can see what I'm doing with my legs as if you were doing it. I have my outside leg to the back, my hands are in a baseball grip, eye level, okay, top hand eye level. I'm going to lean back so I can lift my legs up, bring my hips into the pole. My right leg is going to catch the pole at the front. I'm going to bend my left knee so that right now when both hands are on the pole, you can see there's a gap. I don't know if you can see that. There's a gap between my legs. That's fine right now, okay, because my hands are in the way. Hips are in. You don't want to be here. I'm going to be up here as straight as possible. I'm going to look over my shoulder, release my hands and legs a little bit so I can slide down to the floor and come out of it. Now, if you're finding that feels really good and you're feeling comfortable in that position, you can start to let go of your hands. Only one hand at a time. So the first hand I'm going to let go of is my outside hand. So for me in this position, it's going to be my right hand that I release first. My left hand will remain on the floor, on the pole, and then I'll slide out in this position. Just start getting used to how my legs are going to transition to create the grip for me instead of my hands. And you've got to gradually do this so that you learn to trust the grip between your legs. So again, here I'm going to lift up, wrap, right leg to the front, left leg behind, release my right hand, And now you can see, if I can turn my body a little more, you can see that there's more grip between my knees now than there was, because now this hand's gone. So again, you can slide to the floor looking over your shoulder and release yourself. Okay, now once you've gone to that position, there's no rush. You don't have to become hands-free right away. So if this is good enough for you right now, you can stop there. If you're feeling like you've got really good grip between your legs, then you can proceed to releasing both hands. Now, most important part here, when you get rid of both hands, you make sure your hands always reach for the ground so that if you slip, your hands catch you and your head doesn't, okay? Because obviously that's not good. So we'll try this here. So same lift, up, rock. Knee comes to the back and release right, and release left. I'm squeezing my thighs really, really, really tight. Knees are together. And then my hands are going to come to the ground, so I'm hanging. If you feel comfortable here, inside arm comes around the pole so that now I'm hanging centered. Hands reach for the ground so you can stop yourself. Now to come out here, you can either do a somersault, you can crawl it out. So I'll show you a crawl. I'm going to walk away from the pole. Now my left foot has the top of the foot on the pole. I'm going to bring my right knee down to the ground and literally crawl out of that movement. Make sure you reach your hands away and you really slide that top leg down, otherwise you end up with a pole wedgie, okay? Because your hips are still stuck on the pole and you're not drawing away. So you want to make sure you get off the pole so you're not stuck to it, okay? Another way to come out, like I said, we could do a somersault out of it. So you have your lift up into your basic invert. Release, release, hands down, turn to face the front, so I'm coming around my right. Here, I'm really close to the pole, okay? So I'll turn, so my body is still lined right up at the pole. I'm literally going to bend my arms and tuck my chin to look at my belly button, drop down to the top of my back, and then release the legs and come up. So that's another way you can try coming out. You just have to make sure you don't walk your hands away from the pole, because once you've walked your hands away, you can't tuck your head anymore. You want to make sure that you're pretty much straight in line with that pole. Tuck your head down to your upper back, roll out to come out into your somersault. So that's your basic invert. Have fun with it, be safe. Thanks.